right, now we're going to find the perimeter and area of the next shape. Let's start with the perimeter. Remember that if the distance is horizontal or if the distance is vertical, then you guys are just going to count those distances. So it looks like this one has a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this has a length of 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to move on to those diagonal distances. Okay, to find that diagonal distance, I like to form a right triangle and basically use Pythagorean theorem, right? Leg squared plus leg squared is going to be that hypotenuse squared. Okay, so we have 1 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4 squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So let's see, that's 1 squared is 1, 4 squared is 16, 1 plus 16 is 17. And then to solve for C, you're just going to take the square root of both sides. So that's going to be the square root of 17 equals this diagonal. Okay, let's move on to the next diagonal. I'm going to form a right triangle, and then we can use Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4 squared equals C squared. Okay, since it was just the same as the one above, that means that this one has to be the square root of 17. And last but not least is that diagonal. We're going to form a right triangle. So that's going to be 2 squared plus 1, 2, 3 squared equals that hypotenuse squared. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 plus 9 is 13. And then we'll take the square root of both sides. Okay, so now we can finish this up by adding in our radicals. Radical 17 plus radical 17 plus radical 13. Remember, as we go to combine like terms, you can only add numbers that are all whole numbers. So 7 plus 3 is giving me 17. And I can add these two together because they have the same number underneath the radical. If I have one rad 7 and I get another rad 7, I now have 2 rad 17. The last one is the radical 13. And that's going to be the final answer for the perimeter. So I've now cleared my workspace, and now we're going to work on finding the area. To find the area, what we're going to do is we're going to break this irregular shape up into regular shapes. So it looks like I can break off this right triangle right here. I'm going to label that number 1. It looks like I could break off this right triangle, number 2, and then I'm going to make a rectangle, which I'll call our 3rd piece. And last but not least, that leaves us with another right triangle on the very end. Okay, so let's start with finding the area of this right triangle. Remember, it's base times height divided by 2. Looks like that's 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2. So 3 times 2 divided by 2, which is just going to give us 3. Then I can move to the next right triangle. So that has a base of 1 and a height of 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 times 4 divided by 2, which is just 2. The rectangle looks like it has a height of 1, 2, 3, 4, and a width of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like that one's going to be 28 units, square units. And last but not least, the base is 1, the height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 times 4 divided by 2, which is just 2. Okay, so the very last step in this process is to add all of these together. Okay, so we're going to add the 3 plus 2 plus 28 plus 2 gives us a total of 35 square units.